Bo Nix made a couple of very nice throws as well in his time. He's a starter. I mean, there's really no reason in my mind unfortunately for Jarrett Stidham, or no matter how much Peyton has been talking about Zach Wilson and approving of him, there's no doubt in my mind Bo Nix is going to be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, and for them, I can only hope this stops the carousel that's been turning ever since Super Bowl 50 over there.
And one thing about it, if I could, before you guys get to overreact Monday on Tuesday,
nice.
I just want to say that, they're not showing any signs of any hesitation. I mean, they're not like trying to push the envelope or force the issue. It's like they can just carry that on for a full 4 quarters for a real game. Then they're going to make some strides this season for sure.
Well, we'll see, Derek, and thanks for the call. We'll let you know if we're having any live audience, folks, when we're in Kansas City. So have been, let's see here. I'm looking at the leading passers for the Denver Broncos in the seasons since Peyton Manning departed, since Super Bowl 50. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different quarterbacks that led the Broncos in passing in the 8 seasons since Peyton Manning went. You'll never guess half of them.
I just pulled them up, so I'm not going to guess.
Trevor Siemian did it twice. Case Keenum once. Joe Flacco once. Drew Lock once. Teddy Bridgewater once. Russell twice.
And by the way, the yardage totals are not impressive.
I mean,
not impressive,
right?
to say the least. Russell Wilson topped out at 3,500 2 years ago.
And even the year Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl, his numbers weren't that eye-popping as well.
Well, they weirdly won kind of in spite of him that year. Remember, Brock Osweiler came in and won a bunch of games.
Dude. And then before Peyton, Tebow, Kyle Orton, Jay Cutler, Jake Plummer, Brian Greasy. Those were the ones between Elway and Manning.
Tebow had 1,700 passing yards in 2011.
And was one of the most exhilarating quarterbacks I've seen in my 22 seasons. When John Fox turned to him because Kyle Orton just couldn't, it just couldn't cut. He got hurt, and he didn't want to go to Tebow.
Right.
You can't go to a quarterback who practices with the ball on the ground as much as Tebow was practicing, from what I was told at the time. They just couldn't do it. But I've never seen anything like it. The fourth quarter Tebow time was real. And Tebow won a playoff game, as Pittsburgh Steelers fans know. Yeah. The words out of Jim Nance's mouth describing the new playoff overtime rules on the CBS broadcast of that game. All you got to do is watch that playoff game. Going into overtime, it was the first playoff game using the new overtime rules, that a field goal didn't cut it from the winning, from the team that started overtime. The other team had a chance to match. He was explaining all of that, and Tebow found Demaryius Thomas right over the middle, and it was over. One of the many examples why the Patriots got a nice break in their run.
How is that their fault?
Dude, the Steelers would have been a much tougher opponent the next week. You eviscerated Tebow.
It wouldn't have mattered.
As a matter of fact, you did John Elway the greatest favor, because Elway was, you could see, like,
that game was,
he was kind of smiling.
44-10 or something?
You know? He was kind of like that Homelander gif of just like looking, you know, like, is it okay to smile?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Do the people around me like what I've just done? That's the way it looked.
Sorry, 45-10.
Every time Tebow scored, Manning allowed, and then Peyton Manning being available, allowed Elway to pull off a bloodless coup of Tebow mania, because people in Denver were not ready to move on from Tebow. At any rate, this is what Bo Nix is trying to stop, a revolving door. I'm trying to look. Manning led the Broncos in passing 4 years in a row. First guy to do that for Denver since Jake Plummer did it. But I mean, they didn't win. They didn't win a playoff game. My gosh! After Elway won the Super Bowl, they didn't win a playoff game until Manning arrived. Until Tebow threw that touchdown pass. They lost in the wild card three years, and then lost their conference in the. I guess they won a divisional round game in the mid-90s, in the mid-aughts, pardon me. Anyway, long story short, that's what Bo Nix is trying to stop. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.